We began our discussion about Orange County's residential real estate market. To do that, we're joined by four veterans of the highs and lows of Orange County real estate. On the left, a manager and broker with First Team Real Estate, Mike Hampton, along with the president and founder of Pacific Vantage Real Estate, Dave Robin. We're joined by the Steers chairman and founder, Glenn Stearns, which specializes in lending and escrows, and Orange County real estate economist Gary Watts. And I don't know how, it's right in front of me, Glenn. It says very simply, Stearns, chairman and founder. I don't know what I wound up saying, but you know how I am anyhow. All right, when I ask each of you, we'll start over with Mike. What has been your reaction, your impression of this real estate market over the past 5 years?
I've been impressed by its resiliency, by its ability to keep proving all the experts wrong. Those of us that have been investors in this time have done extremely well. It's been very robust, and I see it to continue.
Yeah. What's been your reaction to it?
My reaction?
Yes.
You know, I have to tell you that I think unquestionably the real estate, especially in Orange County, is the hottest market I've ever seen in 30 years of real estate. And I've, not only worked here, but in Colorado and different places like that also. And I just, I have to tell you that, not only is it a good, solid market, but what's really exciting to me is looking, at the economic forecast in the future, where we're going and what we're doing. We've got several things that have come together in the last few years that I think are just absolutely incredible. Financing, in 30 years, I've never seen financing where you could get what they call a 1% option arm, basically, and have your payments that low. And in conjunction with that, just a really solid housing shortage. And let's face it, Orange County is about the best place on the planet, I think, to live and raise children and to have a family these days. So from my perspective, it's really exciting.
Good. How about you, Glenn?
Wow. I already feel like Simon on the American Idol, because I know with this guy next to me and what I've just heard, it reminds me more of 85 to 89, where, the bubble, if you want to call it that, is going to burst. I feel like, we're at the high end. If you look at all of the inflation, or you look at all of the appreciation, and what's happened, and you look at every city and how it's just gone to where we're over 25%, and it's just been crazy that, it cannot continue for much longer. Sure, maybe it'll last another year or two, but for a first-time home buyer or for somebody that's going to be in their home a long time, I don't think that we should look at this as if it's going to continue to go on and on and on, because there are going to be some surprises.
Gary?
Well, Glenn, it's too bad I'm sitting next to you, because you know what I am. I've been predicting this market for a long time. I went out on a limb last year and said we would see 25%, and we did. And I said we're going to see 15% this year, and unfortunately for the institutional people who do the forecasting, they're going to have a severe reversal to come up with their numbers. We have, as Dave mentioned, so many strong things going on, but our inventory is so short, and people don't understand how that goes. We talk about affordability. You have to quit going about affordability in Orange County. You don't talk about affordability in Beverly Hills, Palos Verdes, or San Francisco. And so you've got to realize that those numbers are no longer valid for an area that is basically rich.
I'll tell you, it's interesting. Anything that was mentioned that you want to comment about?
No.
Okay, I'm curious, at what point, if ever, will the number of homes catch up to the demand, or will it?
I don't think it will.
Let me say something about that, Ed. I think that's really important. In Orange County is, and I get these statistics from Gary, by the way. I have no original ideas. I'm just great at copying Gary. But
as long as he's okay.
As long as you're okay with that, Gary.
Yeah, that's fine. No problems at all.
Hey, Orange County is the third densest population in the nation. Okay, not only that, but we're almost built out. We do not have enough land to build new houses on. And I'll tell you something, show me an area where you've got a huge influx of people, you've got a major shortage of housing, and you've got more people coming. I don't see how prices can go down. In fact, somebody needs to explain to me how they could ever even dream of it, because supply and demand says prices are going to do nothing but continue to go up. And not only that, but we have, in Orange County, we have some of the most brilliant business minds in the world, as well as, in addition to that, I think, just like Gary said, a lot of rich people and more money coming into the area.
Now, we talk about that and talk about the affordability, or whatever term you want to put on it. Your reaction, your impression of the fact that now that they're starting to go multi-level, starting to build condos and trying to get housing.
Right. That's the only way we can go in Orange County. There is no more land to build on, so they've got to build those 10 stories, those 12 stories, 15 stories, whatever they're building down there in Irvine. And if you were to go to New York and try to buy one of those units for $1 million, $2 million, I understand that's what some of those penthouses in Irvine are selling for.
And already sold.
And already sold.
That's the thing, it's kind of amazing. And I think that Glenn, you look at this. How are the people affording these houses?
I don't know. Are there any more starter homes in Orange County? I mean, it seems like we have tapped out the, we're at what we were at 200, under 200,000 in '99, and now we're over 400,000 for a starter home. It's I'm a lender, okay, and I am doing a lot of those 1% loans, but we are educating the people that are getting into these loans to say, you're on an adjustable mortgage that's adjusting every month, and rates have been going up, and at least indexes have been going up, and that's going to bring your payment up, and people need to know that. Maybe their payments are fixed for a longer period of time. So there are creative ways that someone can get into a home, but they need to, they cannot rely anymore on, I think, appreciation for much longer. Again, maybe he doesn't agree with me. Maybe it's a year or a little longer than that. But once it starts heading the other way, and you have people in these 100% loans, and you have people with the low adjustable rate mortgages, I think we're going to be in trouble. That's when I think we're going to have a lot more homes coming back on the market, but it'll probably be due to foreclosures more than anything.
Yeah.
But now, can I just ask
Joe,
you,
yeah.
why do you think that again, Glenn? Just out of curiosity?
Why do I think that?
Because of interest rates?
No, because of interest rates. I think that because again, take a look at, I believe in cycles, it's the same thing. I don't believe that we can continue to just grow and grow. There are corrections, there are, peaks and valleys, and there are look at the stock market. Again, same thing happened. People were saying it's going to continue to go on, and we had a major crash, obviously.
Now, Gary, you're the eternal optimist.
Not always the eternal. I was known as Dr. Doom and Gloom. I gave a famous talk in 1989. The party was over. So,
what's your feeling now, and why do you feel that way?
Well, there's so many good, solid economic factors for it. You've got a diverse job base here in Orange County. In 1989, when the Berlin Wall came down and we were getting like 34% of the defense contracts, and you had the Rockwells and everyone else up the street employing 10,000 people, 15,000 people, when they got laid off, there wasn't a market for them. They were high-tech engineers that our economy wasn't adapted to. Today, we're all running on software computers that are the latest thing off of the shelves. And the diversity in our job base and the demand for people coming here with our educational institutions and our climate and everything else, this is what's drawing it in. And as long as this influx continues to come in, the market's got to remain strong. Glenn talks about cycles, and I agree. I've watched him for 30 years as an economist, but there's also these long-term cycles that hit every now and then, and we're the benefactors of a long-term real estate cycle.
Now, there's something I'm kind of curious about. Recently, we had all this rain. We had these view homes, all the problems that came from that. Are we going to have trouble getting rid of these homes now, these beautiful view homes, or are people going to still be going after them like crazy?
Well, they'll be going after the view homes, but they're not going to be going after the view homes where the land has fallen away.
Well, I'm kind of figuring that. But you don't think there's much of a chance? I mean, are they now? Is there enough confidence, the geologists and those that are starting to check these out, that the new homes being built should be no problem? There
aren't too many new homes being built in that kind of a scenario in Orange County. It's mostly the old existing inventory, and the people that we're having step forward and want to find a geologist to do an inspection. That's very tough. Most of them won't stick their neck out to give that kind of expert opinion.
What kind of tips would, and I'm going to ask each of you this too as well, what are some suggestions you have for people that are trying to buy a home, whether they be a first-time buyer or someone just trying to buy in Orange County?
Mm-hmm. Get with a full-time real estate professional who knows the market that they're looking to buy in, and let that agent help them position themselves to negotiate the best possible deal for them.
You do.
I think probably the best thing is buy all the real estate you can. I have to tell you that my prediction is that interest rates are going to be up a little bit this year, but frankly, as you see inflation cooling off a little bit next year, you're going to see those rates coming back down also. We are in for an absolutely phenomenal 4 or 5 years, and I can give you several different reasons why. As far as the bubble bursting, absolutely unequivocally, I just, I don't see it. And believe me, I was around when it happened in, the late 70s, early 80s. I was around when it happened in the late 80s, and certainly there were things on the horizon that would said, hey, this is a reason for it to happen. It's not going to happen now.
Yeah. Glenn, suggestions you have for people?
Well, I think that, again, not to sound like a pessimist, but I do think that if you're a first-time home buyer and you're coming into the market, you should come in with equity. You should come in with a loan that is going to be longer than, maybe a 5 or a 7 or a 10-year fixed loan, a 30-year amortization, but so you can ride if there is going to be a correction in the market. But do not count on your equity bailing you out in the next few years, is my suggestion to people, that they need to really look at it, and do not overextend yourself. Maybe go instead to about 40% of your debt to income ratio.
Gary, suggestions for people?
Of course, this is now point and counterpoint. The average down payments have been averaging over 22% in Orange County. So people are not really speculating. They're putting healthy down payments like Glenn talked about. But for the person getting in who doesn't have 10%, 20 or 20%, obviously get in with one of the programs Glenn has, even the 1% option, because the market is still, in my opinion, going to continue to go up. And I think back to the people that I sold 2 years ago with no money down. Today they're buying a $750,000 home and they're putting 20% down. That's how much the equity market it is. So get in no matter how you can at whatever low option rate, because the equity growth in Orange County real estate is going to surpass any problems in the foreclosure market.
Well, it's been very quick. It's too bad we've run out of time. We have a story that's going to follow.